is Russ. Yeah, I'm back in the car again. It's a Sunday. What time is it? 2:48 p.m. Kind of late for me, huh? Guess where I'm headed? Yeah, where am I always headed? So today, okay, give you the temperature. 75 degrees. Not bad, huh? So today, sold one of my e-bikes, the Velotric Breeze 1. Yeah, that one's gone. Went to Paul from Indiana, and his nice family came by as well. Yeah, picked up my bike and headed off to Michigan, I believe they said they were going. Yeah, they got a long drive to go. Took them a while to get to me. Now they got a while to get up there. But thank you to Paul for the purchase of that. We got it in the back of his pickup truck. Yeah, he had a covered pickup truck, and we had to take the front wheel off to get it in there, but we got it in there. It would have made it in there, but the thing is that, you know, the handlebar sticks up, right? So then he couldn't close the cover of his pickup. But if we took the front wheel off, we could turn that thing and it fit in there pretty good. So, yeah. So thank you to him for the purchase of that. Hope he enjoys it. Anyway, so why is it so late? Well, okay, Paul picked up his bike at about 2:30 or so. I had just gotten back from church. We were kind of expecting about 1 o'clock he might show up, but traffic was pretty good, and so he sent me a text, and I didn't see or hear it, and of course I didn't notice it until I got home, and I looked at it and go, oh, he sent me a text, and he goes, oh, I should be there by around 12:30, and I go, oh, it's 12:30 now. So anyway, he was just about going to the police department, because I meet people at the police department, and so I said to my wife, I said, you know, by the time I put the bike rack on the car and then load the bike onto the bike rack and everything, it's going to take even longer. I said, let me just ride the bike there. I've done this several times in the past when people picked up bikes from me, where I'll just ride to the police station. Yeah, it's a little bit of a distance, but it's not that bad, right? I got an e-bike. So I rode there, and I just told my wife, I says, when I'm finished, I'll send you a text, and you can come and pick me up. A lot faster by car, you know. So anyway, that's what we did, and so he is now the proud owner of a Velotric Breeze 1. Yep, got a good deal. So I told him if he knows any of his friends that are looking for e-bikes, to tell them not to buy any, they should just contact me. Yeah, really. You know, I mean, it's a little bit of a drive, but, you know, he saved some decent money on it. So if they're willing to do that, you know, they'll save some money, and then I can move on one of the e-bikes. You know, the thing is that after I'm done with the reviews and everything, I ride them a little bit, and then after that I have to sell them because they're just in the way. There's just way too many bikes if you don't, so you have to move them on. So why is it so late for me now? I mean, since, you know, Paul picked it up at 12:30 and everything, we were probably done by about 1-ish or so. It's a long story, but, you know, sometimes I run out of stuff in the house to eat, and so I didn't have anything to eat, and I I had enough just to be able to make breakfast before going to church. I played electric guitar today at church, and I got back, and I, you know, dealing with the bike and everything, getting back and all that, and I kind of sat around for a little bit. And I go, there's nothing to eat. I'm gonna go to Costco. I got to pick up a chicken. And while I'm there, I'm going to pick up a pizza too, of course, for myself. And so Mrs. Wright has stuff to eat all the time because she's much more prepared than I am. We eat different things sometimes, right? So our diets are a little bit differently. So anyway, she says, you can eat my stuff. I go, got to eat my own stuff. Gotta eat stuff that I like, right? Anyway, so that's why I'm headed to Costco at this point. I figure at 2:53 right now. Can't be that many people there in the food court, huh? You never can tell. I mean, Costco's the you know, a weekend thing. It's always busy, you know, no matter what time, it's always busy. But we'll see, you know, it's past lunch hour. It's between lunch and dinner hour at this point, right? So we'll see. We'll see if it's busy. I don't think it'll be that bad. And even if it is anyways, I just ask people if I can sit with them. And they usually say yes, but, you know, sometimes you get a no. You can never tell, you know. I don't like to stand on those standing tables. I know people do it, but yeah, I'm too old to be standing around. I gotta sit down. Oh man. So anyways, another bike is being picked up tomorrow. He's actually the purchaser of the Mooncool CG1, which is the cargo bike. Yeah, he bought the cargo bike from me, and now he's picking up the what is he buying from me now? He's picking up the King Bull. Yeah, what I don't recall the name, but it's kind of like a cargo bike, right? So it's a smaller one, you know, it's not as big as the other cargo bikes, but you could put things in the back of that. So he's going to have another one. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he has another cargo bike. I think he has the Odor electric cargo bike. He had picked that up from somebody just before he picked up my Mooncool. So he's got like 3 cargo bikes. What are you going to do with all those cargo bikes? But thank you anyways. I do appreciate that you think about me and pick up my bikes. Hey, like I told him when he picked up the other bike, says you could always sell it, probably make a little bit on it too, you know, for what you buy these things for from me. So yeah, he's got a good deal coming to him as well. So more bikes are still available. Believe me, it's on the russisright.com website. So if you haven't gone there, if you're local or you're within driving distance, you know, come and get them. Yeah, be happy to get it for you. So, but yeah, I think he's local. He's not out of the state. You know, I was telling Paul that the vast majority of the people who have bought e-bikes from me have been from out of state. It's true. Yeah, I mean they're local in the sense that they're within driving distance. They're the surrounding states around me. Yeah, so you're talking things like people coming in from Missouri, from Indiana, from Wisconsin, Kentucky. Did we have anyone from Iowa or anything? I'm not sure. I think we have somebody from Iowa. I'm not positive. So Michigan. Yeah, they're all from the Midwest. They're coming in to get them. The thing is, I think what they do is some of them pick them up and then they spend the day in Chicago, right? You know, and you know, they don't often come to Chicago, but you know, it's like a trip for fun, as well as picking up the bike. The only thing is that if you're picking up the bike, you have to put the bike somewhere if you're gonna do things for fun while you're in Chicago. So unless you want to ride it around Chicago, you can do that too. But I don't know what they do, but they come from out of town. Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind that. But I always wondered why the Chicago guys, you know, not as many Chicago guys have been picking up the bikes, because you would tend to think locally people would. And I've tried the Facebook Marketplace thing. A lot of scammers out there on Facebook Marketplace and things. I'd rather really sell it to Russ's Right viewers. Really, I'd much rather give the deals to Russ's Right and more from Russ viewers, because everyone knows what they're getting in a sense, because they see me on the bike, they see how I deal with it, and they know they're not beat up or anything like that, right? And most of them have very few miles on it. I think that Vela Trick only had like, what was it, 14, 17 miles, something like that. Didn't have a whole lot. Yeah. I did the review. I rode it around a little bit. Of course, I rode it to him when I dropped it off. That's about it. It's not really that many miles on it, so it's almost like a brand new bike. But we do have to move them. So now some of the other ones are bigger and heavier. Yeah, that's kind of a small bike, and it's not small, but it's kind of thin, right? It's lightweight. That thing's so lightweight, we were able to actually pick it up, put it in the pickup truck with no problem. You know, if it was something like the Wired bike or something like that, 100 and something pounds, that would have been another story. That would have been a heavy duty guy. It would have been, some major lifting there. So anyway, that's about all I have for you guys for today. I just wanted to turn the camera on and keep you company while I was heading off to Costco. I feel good that one of the bikes went out. Goes to one of our viewers. Paul's been watching for a couple years, he said. So yeah, it's good. Thank you. All right, should I get gas? Nah, I'm not down enough to even bother getting gas. I'll get it sometime in the middle of the week. That way I might run into Tom. I mean, Tom might be actually working right now for all I know, but yeah, I'm not down enough in the gas tank. Sometimes I go there just so I can say hello to him. Otherwise, I don't see him. You know, if I don't stop by the gas station, sometimes he comes in when I'm having the pizza. You know, he's either done with his shift or maybe starting his shift, whatever. Or maybe he has to run to the washroom, whatever he has to do. So sometimes I see him there. Otherwise, I may not see him. And I just, we don't talk long. We talk really quick all the time. He says, hey, what's going on? Did you watch the video recently? Yes, have a couple comments, and then that's it. Then we got to go. He's got to do his thing. And so I have a very short time to talk to him. So anyways, he's a good guy. I enjoy his company. We've never done anything together, really. Just run into each other at Costco. That's about it. All right, anyways, I'm almost here, so I'm going to let you guys go. I appreciate you guys hanging around. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll talk to you guys next time. Okay, I'm back in the car. Finishing up my Costco thing. Yeah, bought a chicken, bought a pizza, bought a 50-50. Actually, they used to have a drink called 50-50, didn't they? Tell me if you remember 50-50. Now, when I say 50-50, I'm talking 50% Diet Coke and 50% Coke Zero. Yeah, I'm trying to go down to the water, but now after such a long wait to get something to eat, I needed something to drink too. So here's the thing. I was saying, will it be busy at Costco at, right now it's 3:39 as I'm heading out. But it's kind of in between the lunch and dinner. Yeah, it was kind of busy. Yeah, people couldn't find a table. I was lucky. I'm always lucky. Not always, but many times I am. I'll walk up and then people are walking out and I just grab the table, So, of course, there are people standing as well. But, I just happened to wander right into a table. And then I noticed that a guy and his son were looking around. The son is probably, I'm going to say, 6, maybe? Something like that. I don't know how old he is. And so I waved him over to my table because he's looking. He can't find anything. And he's got a little kid, So they accepted. They came over and sat down. And then we talked a little bit. And he asked me about, what kind of work I do, and of course I don't work, so okay, well, I guess you can call YouTube work, but it's not really work. It's kind of for fun, right? So I told him what I do, and then I asked him what he does. Yeah, and he works for some nonprofit type places, and he's been in Africa, and he's working on some organizations or something like that with things out in Africa. So I mean, I tell you, you meet some very interesting people. Just look at a kid's got an e-bike or something. It could be one of the kids' Hemingway e-bikes. In fact, it kind of looks like that. He's riding on the sidewalk there. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute here. But anyway, very interesting to talk to him. And his son was eating a cheese pizza, and they had some type of chocolate syrup on a vanilla ice cream thing, and he had a pepperoni pizza. Yeah, so we had a good conversation. Yeah, I'll tell you this. I meet a lot of new people, and they do lots of different things, but I told him, I says, you don't see too many people who have actually are working in the type of field he's working in, where it's a nonprofit organization dealing with things in Africa. So I asked him how he got involved with that, and he said he used to be with the Peace Corps. Yeah, he said out of college he joined the Peace Corps, and so he kind of got to know Africa, and he had a heart to do that. And so I said, well, he's a unique individual. Yeah, well, good for him. Glad he's doing good in the world. Yeah. So if you're not afraid to strike up a conversation with somebody, you find out some interesting things from people. You do. I meet a lot of people at Costco. I don't know if I'll ever see these people ever again, but I do find out what people do, and his was an interesting one. I told him, I says, not too often you find a guy who says he's working in the type of field that he's working in, right? Yeah, so I asked him, I says, do you get to go to Africa? He goes, yeah. He says, maybe 4 or 5 times a year he'll take the trip out there. He's currently based here, but if the work takes him to be there, he'll go there. So yeah, good for him. Yeah, it takes a lot of dedication to do stuff like that. I told him about 2 people that I know of that actually did some work in Africa, but they were missionaries, right? One of them was a high school friend of mine that we were in the same homeroom together. I don't know, I may have mentioned this before to either you guys here, I'm more from Russ or from Russ is right, that my friend and I, from our homeroom, actually, our homeroom was actually in the gymnasium of the school, of the high school. And so every day we had to pull the gymnasium's bleachers out, and then people would come in, and then we'd have homeroom there. And then when everyone was done, we'd push the bleachers back. And so he and I were the 2 guys for 4 years who pulled out the bleachers and pushed the bleachers back after everyone was leaving homeroom. Yeah, something we always did. His name is Bill. And I had lost contact with Bill, after we graduated, of course. I hadn't seen the guy in forever. But then, because of Facebook and reunions for high school and things like that, we reconnected. Yeah. So, hi to Bill if he sees the video, but I don't think he watches Russ is Right. I don't think he knew that I went into that, because I think the last time I saw him may have been before I had the knee replacement. Yeah. So I don't think he knows what's going on with me. But lost contact again, right? I don't know what he's doing now. If he's still doing the school, and he helped open a school in Africa. And then the other person is a person who is part of our small group that I meet on Thursday. Her family actually were missionaries in Africa. So she grew up in Africa. Yeah. Yeah, so she still has a heart for Africa. So so I told him about those 2 people, and he goes, yeah, missionaries do real well in Africa. So anyway, I just wanted to turn the camera back on and give you a report of what I saw. And there was a lot of people still. There was a lot of people still, 3-something in the afternoon. They're still buying stuff to eat. So I guess I guess it doesn't really matter what time. If it's a weekend, it's going to be busy there. Yeah. Anyway, so I picked up a chicken. I think there was like 3 chickens left. And then there's new chickens, of course, that's on the rotisserie thing. And people are waiting around for it. I don't have time to wait for the thing. I don't eat this stuff right away anyways. I cut it up and it goes into the refrigerator anyway. So it doesn't matter to me that it's not 100% fresh, because it's not going to be by the time I eat it anyway. So I picked up the chicken, and I'm going, wow, this is a pretty heavy chicken. I'm going, why is this chicken just one of the 3 or so that are left behind people didn't pick up, But I think a lot of times, too, people see the new ones coming, and they want a fresh one because maybe they're eating it today. I don't do that. As you know, I pick up the chicken, I could eat it over several days. So what difference does it make if it's a couple hours older than another chicken that's just coming out? It doesn't matter to me, as long as it's not a scrawny looking chicken, right? But this one was heavy. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I put it in a box, then I put it on the floor so it doesn't slide off the chair or anything. But it was pretty heavy. I was like, wow, how come people didn't buy this one? I think it was towards the back, and maybe they're kind of thinking, yeah, okay, it's too old or something. They're not that old. Those chickens rotate really quickly. But if you're eating it now, then of course I can see why you want to wait till the new ones come out. But since they had the bags, okay, what I really can't stand is the people who pick up the chickens and they're trying every chicken, every bag, to see which one's the heaviest one for them to buy. First off, it holds up everybody. I don't want your hands all over our bags. The other day, I was at Costco, and I noticed somebody was buying, I don't know, maybe 8 chickens. Yeah, they must have had a party going on or something. there. They bought like 8 rotisserie chickens. Kind of wiped out the the guy would put it out. They pull it over and grab it, you know, and there's like 8 of them. So I've seen that before, where people have had multiple chickens, you know, but 8 of them, wow, had to be a party. Why would you need that many? So, anyways, that's about it. I just wanted to at least fill you in on what happened. So, anyway, let's close at this point. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Talk to you guys next time.